Before we dive into what Monster Hunter Now needs, let's get into what we are getting, because a big update just dropped. On the 7th of December, we're getting 4 new monsters in the game. We're getting Radabon, which was a big surprise for everyone. Absolutely love its armor. Bambaro, Barioth, and Zinogre. The unfortunate thing with Zinogre is that it's an urgent quest only monster until it comes back in its upcoming event, Zinogre's Onslaught, from December 15th until the 17th local time. So after this event, Zinogre won't be seen in the area until more events come later, or until they incorporate him into the official roster of regular monsters you see in the wild, which I find to be pretty odd considering how heavily they were advertising this monster just for it to be an event only monster. Maybe for now? We'll see. As for the other 3 monsters, it seems that they will be staying, which will make that 16 monsters out on the field. There will also be no ice area, it seems. Like during the winter time, we'll see the scenery change to a more wintry look as we are hunting. As for weapons, we're getting 2 more, making that 8 weapons in total. We now have the dual blades and the lance, with dual blades getting that sick Levi's special skill rolling down the monster's back, and lance getting that charge into a full throttle thrust right into the monster. You may think that is all, but they do have some stuff that is not mentioned that we will be getting as well. Maybe an exclusive monster? Who knows? Monster Hunter Now needs to change. With the game being out for 2 months and a new major update coming out literally right around the corner, introducing Zinogre and more, I thought it'd be a good time to talk about the current state of the game. After this game's release, I definitely see all the complaints that surround a mobile game like this. While everyone is storming through content or having a rough time to get through certain points because of some functions that stop the player from progressing. Hello everyone, my name is SkojSkull and welcome to another Monster Hunter video. And today, I would like to discuss the different things Monster Hunter Now needs to do in order to bring out longevity to their game and keep people playing. First off, this is all opinion based, and these are just my thoughts on what I feel would be the best option for the game. Also, please let me know how you feel you would like Monster Hunter Now to change in any way, or if you agree. Comparing how well the game is doing compared to Niantic's other games like Pokemon Go, Peridot, Pikmin Bloom, and Ingress Prime, Monster Hunter Now is their second biggest game, getting over $30 million since the game's release. Comparing that to Pokemon, which made over $200 million their first month back in 2016, which that is definitely safe to say that they don't plan on dropping this game anytime soon. I think the biggest thing to compare is the amount of downloads it had with Pokemon Go and why that matters for multiplayer. Monster Hunter Now for the first month has gotten over 10 million downloads, and while that sounds like a lot, Pokemon Go with their first month they got over 200 million downloads. That comes to no surprise since Pokemon is a lot more popular than Monster Hunter. But that also means the multiplayer is affected. In Pokemon Go, pretty much wherever you go, especially during events, you'll find someone around playing Pokemon Go. With Monster Hunter Now, I have met no one who also plays the game. Since release, aside from playing with my fiance, I noticed that there was one person somewhere while I was at the airport waiting for my flight. And in the end, they never did join my hunts. So like everyone else, I would love for them to make it so that we can hunt with others online, especially with our friends list. We can form a party with people all over the world and hunt monsters together when someone encounters one. And I don't really see a need to limit this or involve microtransactions. I feel like this would also solve the issues people have been having with the game being too grindy to play, where certain drops for monsters being a nightmare to get sometimes. If they were to involve microtransactions, they would probably limit this to paintball monsters, getting people to buy more paintballs, or they could limit it to the amount of hunts per day that you could do remotely. But again, these are just if they find ways to limit it. Also, to invite people, since they will be online, use a passcode system or code invites like in World and Rise in order for people to join as well. While we're on this topic, let's discuss drop rates and monster spawns in the game. In Monster Hunter Now, it can sometimes take days or even a couple weeks to upgrade the armor and weapons you would like. When going about the game, I find myself having to be very careful what weapons and armor I would like to upgrade, as they share a lot of the same materials in order to get them to the next grade. The game's goal is to keep you playing, and with the way they organize this makes sense on paper, but for a lot of people they stop playing. With there only being 13 monsters and some more being included in different events, it can feel pretty repetitive for a lot of people. For me personally, I'm still enjoying it. I understand what the game wants from me, and it's a game to be played over time. This isn't like the main release titles where you could go in, beat the game within a week, and enjoy the end game. This is a mobile game where you hop in, hunt a few monsters around you, and hop out. Or you go around like a maniac and look for more monsters. When my fiance is not around, I usually just take it out and play whenever I can. I fortunately work at a college campus, so I get a lot of mining spots to gather more materials. I do understand for a lot of people that aren't that fortunate. It's hard to say where the balance should be with gathering materials because for the game, they want you to keep playing. I would love to get more materials and more monsters to spawn, but after I get everything I need, let's say I get all the armor and weapons I crafted in the game, then I see no point in playing the game until later updates or events. So while I agree with everyone, I'm also conflicted. Even though we do get some decent rewards from the events category and sometimes a good reward when it's a monster item after hunting it, I feel like it's not enough. I feel like giving rewards for multiple monster parts for whichever monster will be a greater reward since it is incredibly hard to get what you need for your gear and weapons. The monster bones and different ore definitely help out a lot, but involving more monster parts would help even more. If I recall correctly, when you gain your HR in the 10s, you earn rewards that come from the shop like paintballs and wander droplets, even though the droplet and orbs aren't really the best at all. Bringing this back and involving carving knives would be a lot better and encourage the player to keep playing to achieve higher HR. Even for these type of events, they do it for about a week and then it disappears. But I feel like this should be more of a permanent thing for people to acquire. Again, it gets increasingly hard to get everything you need and explore other weapons that you would want to try out. I have a hard time balancing between LVG and longsword because of this, and I need to be very careful on what to upgrade. How would you adjust this while still keeping people engaged? Another thing to keep in mind is that this is just the start of the game. I'm sure there will be a lot more monsters, materials to gather, and bigger events in the future. This is similar to Pokemon Go, where they had only cans of Pokemon to catch and Pokemon stops. So there was no raids at the time. You just go out and catch Pokemon. With Monster now, there are only 13 monsters. But in my opinion, a way better gameplay loop looking like it's from Monster Hunter Explorer, with you hunting the monster feeling like how it is in the main release titles. So for right now, things are going to be slow as they start figuring things out, and I imagine in the future we'll be getting some big updates later down the road, like the one coming this winter. Complete side note, but I wanted to point this out because they have improved this in Monster Now for events. Instead of it being so time sensitive and having a messy schedule for 3 days in a row, 3 hours or so per day, they now have events spread from Friday to Sunday, which makes this way more accessible for everyone. I just wanted to point this out because I have not seen it be talked about too much, and I'm excited to see more improvements like this. That way people that are at work can actually play it when they get out. Crafting, one of the biggest things to do in Monster Hunter to obtain the items you need. I definitely think we'll get it at some point. Like with Pokemon Go, when you go to different Pokestops, you are able to gather different Pokeballs that you're able to use. As updates go on, we will get more content to mess around with, like more monsters, possible raid events that we will then get the ability to craft potions and paintballs. Or even when there's more possible paid functions, I definitely see things like layered armor becoming a paid part in the game. If Gormagala ever gets in the game, I might just snatch that. With more paid functions, I can definitely see it being possible that the crafting will become a thing for the stuff we have to pay for now. With that, these are all things I feel like Monster Hunter Now should change in the future. Let me know what you would like change or would like to see happen with the game. I would love to talk about it with you guys. Like with Pokemon Go, I think this will be a slow release at first, especially since they struggled to get this out during Monster Hunter World's runtime. Since we have a major update coming really soon, with more monsters and weapons coming. With that, thank you so much for watching, and especially thank you to Frost Dragonheart, Floors1314, Midnight Live 27, The Meme Monster, and Silverwings for being absolute legends, helping the channel with your tier 2 SkojSkull membership tier. If you want to support the videos further and get these videos a day early than everyone else, and get your name shouted out at the end, then hit that join button and become sexier than ever with the SkojSkull tier. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you all in the next video.